Hey guys, it's me, Mario, and today we are going to continue EPOS, the Flame Bird. How you all doing today? I know I keep saying this, but I want to know how you guys doing. Hope you guys are doing well. This is a lovely Saturday afternoon. Where I am at, it's Saturday afternoon, so. I know some of you guys are from different countries and learn English, so. If you're reading with me through the Beast Quest series, that's awesome, if you guys are. We left off on chapter 9, the Fires of Destruction. And I hope you guys enjoy my read through the Beast Quest books. With a grunt of effort, Tom threw himself out of EPOS's path. The beast was going too fast to stop and crashed into the rock face. Tom scrambled back up. "You can't win, boy," Melville shouted. Tom tried to escape from the ledge, but EPOS was too fast. She lashed out with one wing and caught Tom on the back of the neck. Tom gasped as he was knocked flying through the air before he could rise. EPOS grabbed him with her enormous beak. Tom shouted out with pain. It was like being gripped in a vice Then the flame bird flung him to the ground. Every muscle ached. His body burned with bruises. But still he forced himself back to his feet. Melville snarled, "What does it take to make you give up, boy?" "More than you've got," Tom cried definitely. "I have looked into Elena's mind," hissed Melville. "She does not believe you can win." "That's not true," Tom pictured his friend's brave smile. "Elena believed in me, and I believe in her." "You are a fool if you think that," Melville said. "And what about the animals you hold so dear? They have already given up on you. The girl's wolf is leading your horse back through the caves to the royal city. Storm and Silver would never leave Elena," Tom shouted. "They are loyal." "They are animals," Melville hissed, "like EPOS and all the others. Mere beasts." Tom stared as EPOS hovered above him. Even in his fear, he found the giant flame bird a breathtaking sight. "They're more than just animals," he insisted. "They're legends." EPOS dropped down and placed her huge talons on Tom's chest. Melville chuckled. "It seems EPOS does not care for your compliments. It seems like Epos does not care for your compliments. Tom cried out in pain as the giant flame bird began to crush his ribs. I feel like this is a little too loud, so I'm gonna turn it down a bit. There we go. Look at the great young hero, Melville sneered. You are as weak as your father. You're not fit to speak of my father, Tom gasped. He wrestled with Epos's claws, trying to weaken the beast's grip. The pain was incredible, and the world was starting to spin. I believe in him, he said through gritting teeth. As I believe in the beast's right to be free. Epos's grip on Tom grew tighter still. The ground groaned and shook as the volcano prepared to explode. And I believe, Tom croaked, clutching desperately at the beast's leg, that it's my destiny to beat you. Tom's right hand, the one on which he wore his father's chainmail gauntlet, closed on the golden band around Epos's ankle. To Tom's amazement, it tore through the band as if it were wet paper. He stared at the scrapes of gold in his hand. Epos let go of Tom and shrieked. It was a noise like the earth's core cracking open. She shook violently, thrashing her wings, then rose up gracefully into the air, released at last. No! Bellowed Melville, backing away. It is not possible. Then Epos flew straight at Melville, grabbing him with her lethal talons, and lifted him up above the volcano. This is not the end, Tom, Melville screamed. We shall meet again. Epos held the dark, struggling figure a moment longer above the flames exploding from the mouth of the volcano. Then the dark wizard disappeared in a haze of white light, and the beast's talons were left clutching empty air. Had Melville's dark magic destroyed him? Or had he somehow transported himself to safety? Tom didn't know. With a rasping shriek, Epos plunged down inside the volcano. Tom heard the echoes of the shriek hung in the air for a few moments. Then they too were gone. I've done it, Tom murmured. His body was burned and bleeding, but he couldn't stop smiling. Whatever happened to Melville, his plans have been defeated, because I've set Epos free. Just then the ground bucked beneath him. and a split opened up, belching fire and thick yellow smoke. Tom sat up in sudden terror. This was no time to congratulate himself. The volcano was about to blow. The kingdom of Aventia was still in danger. Panting for breath, Tom stared at the steep slope of rock, shielding him from the fiery forces of the volcano. So many cracks were running across it, and he remembered his desperate plan. If he could topple all that rock, it might just plug the volcano. Tom yanked off his father's foot armor. Each piece had a pointed end. He placed one against a narrow crack and grabbed a rock to use as a hammer. He just had to drive the spikes into the cracks to widen the splits. With luck, it might bring the rock face tumbling down. Choking on smoke, he struck the pointed armor again and again. The cracks started to widen, but the rock face didn't move. Desperately, Tom scooped up the other piece of armor and wedged it into another crack. I can do this, he told himself, swinging his rock hammer again and again. Tears of frustration welled up in his eyes. The piece of rock slipped from his numb fingers. It was no good. Tom simply wasn't strong enough. Suddenly he felt something watching him. He spun around. EPOS, the mighty flame bird, was hovering in the sky above. The beast's eyes were no longer red. They shone brown gold. As Tom stared in amazement, the beast flew down and crashed into the rock again and again. EPOS hurled herself at the stone. Huge splits opened up in the rock face as EPOS drove her beak into the stone. "You understand," Tom cried. "You saw what I was trying to do, and you're helping me." He felt torn. He was so grateful for the beast's help, but it was awful. It was awful to watch her flying herself against the rocks, sparks flying from her body. With new hope, Tom grabbed another lump of stone and used it to drive his crumbled foot armor deeper and still inside the cracks. Working together, he and EPOS might just succeed. At last, the huge slope of rock began to crumble. Black zigzags were spreading across it. "Yes," Tom cried. With a last roaring shriek, EPOS flung herself into the center of the rock face. With a grating grinding noise, it collapsed. Tom was standing at the edge of the slope, But the giant flame bird had no time to get clear. "Epos!" Tom yelled as the beast disappeared beneath the falling rocks and into the mouth of the volcano. And next up, we'll be reading Chapter 10, The Final Answers. Well, I hope you guys enjoyed me reading through Chapter 9 of Beast Quest. The Fires of Destruction. Thank you for clicking on this video and subscribing. If you didn't, please do. It's much appreciated. And I hope I will see you in the finale. I didn't think I would get this far in the Beast Quest, so hope you guys enjoyed. And yes, I will read the second series whenever I get to that. Whenever I finish this one and get to the second series of the Golden Armor. I think the first series is called the Legendary Beasts or the Cursed Beasts. And I think the second series is called the Golden Armor. And the third one is the Cursed Kingdom, I think? Or the Dark Kingdom, the Cursed Kingdom, Dark Kingdom, I have no idea. And I think the fourth one is called the Forbidden Lands. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed my read through Beast Quest. And I hope I will see you next week. Alright. See you guys in the next video. Bye bye.